Main screen. We are live on Faz Radio with Bitbender and Titan and Faz. We got a bunch of things to talk about today, so let me look at my notes and see whatever the hell we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about the recent node vote with Gala Games, and we're going to talk about the recent Townstar announcement stuff that we've had to hear about on the Gala Games Discord.
That's a good thing. I've brought my sexy midnight radio DJ voice and body to this conversation.
Exactly. So first thing I want to do is I want to do a little bit of an introduction. I didn't make this an AMA because I wanted to get deep in on some of these subjects, and I certainly want to hear you guys tell us things, tell us what you think on both YouTube, and we have a Faz Radio chat channel on the CryptoFaz Discord that you can...
Did you take that off private?
Did I take it off private? They should be able to see it. Anyway,
okay.
I just wanted to divide things up into a couple categories. One, I had some questions, but I don't want a quick answer. I want to get an understanding of what Gala Games was originally thinking on a specific subject, in this case, the Gala nodes, and where they were thinking it might evolve. And the other one is suggestions. Well, I'm calling it that because there's some critiques in there, but I have some suggestions about ways to move forward, and that way I can soften the blow of any critiques that I have. So my first question is...
Nice.
I'm just rolling right past that. First one is, so we had something go on Discord recently. We had some Discord going on in Discord. One was about...
Discord? What?
We're talking about node governance with the Gala nodes, and we're talking about new things to happen with Townstar. But I wanted to start with governance. And I'm just going to let you roll with this, but I want to say it would seem to me that either people don't seem to understand the whole governance angle, or maybe it wasn't made clear. But I wanted to get into the generics about how the nodes work first before we start having any critiques or whatever about it. Can you tell me what the Gala Games nodes are for, and what your vision, what's your plan?
Okay, so Gala Games has always been targeting things that are a lot bigger than anyone else in the space, and B, than we've really been public about. Okay, so the founders nodes originally, the idea is they would do things that are necessary to support the ecosystem, from minting NFTs to approving transactions. We had originally plans to build our own L1, and this was one of the things that they will play a role in as this goes live. However, as time went on, we became aware that they could do more and more and more, and so we're using this software that we are developing. It's an internal development to essentially do more all the time. Today we had a last expedition playtest that was playing on a workload, which it's going to be a game-related workload for last expedition, and in this case it allowed 16 different developers and community members to 16 or 12? 16, I think it was 16. Developers and community members to jump in and play last expedition with one another. So there's a lot that can be done here. We've also talked about doing things with Flare, where the nodes will help serve to support the Flare Time Series Oracle, side of things. So the nodes can do a lot, and that has been something that we've been pushing for. And they can do more all the time. That's one of the things that I love about having a very active development team in this regard.
But they have a voting aspect about them, right?
They do. They have a governance aspect. The original reason that we wanted to have a governance aspect is because we want the community to feel extremely involved in everything that we do. Okay, the governance aspect is, at this point in time, it is more of a sentiment gauge than it is an actual governance vote. And the reason for that is because the rest of the structure that would go along with a absolutely, totally decentralized governance vote is not yet there. It is something that we definitely want to get to, but it's not quite there yet. So in this last case, the sorry, I'm seeing DMs that are being sent to me from, I think, actually Titan. Sorry about that. Got distracted.
Thanks, Titan.
Sorry, I apologize. I was trying to get his attention in like two different things there about that, and he wasn't answering. So I tried this channel. I didn't mean to distract you. I apologize.
It's okay. It's not a problem. Now I just have to go find where I was actually looking at your. I guess I'll click here. That should work. There we go. Okay. So anyway, that was one of the original things that we wanted to have the nodes do. Now, what was interesting is this last week, we have a halving coming up, and the halving is not a thing that people can vote on. The halving happens; it's part of the entire protocol. But what we can do is we can make some determinations about exactly where that halving goes. And one of the things that we thought would be pretty cool, and it was actually interesting. It was very surprising for us that there was this much resistance. We thought it would be really cool to have a bonus pool be established out of, a very good chunk of that halving that would go to reward people for doing stuff that is beneficial to the ecosystem as a whole. Now, this could be a lot of different things, and we're going to be letting the community have a very, very large hand in deciding what these things are. But the idea is you do good stuff that supports the ecosystem, you earn points, action-based points that give you rewards from that pool that was established for the halving, for the bonus pool rather. We thought people would absolutely love the idea. We did not anticipate that it would be a really, really close vote at the end of the day.
Well,
so that was kind of interesting for us.
If I can jump in real quick,
of course.
So people certainly had some opinions on how things would be, and I think there's a couple things that are important to mention. One is, and I want to backtrack to the node voting and stuff. One was you had mentioned that the node votes seem to be a sentiment meter right now until things can be really gotten off the ground and going the way that we want it to be. The other one is this town star this node. Did you talk about the town star stuff yet? No,
I have not touched the town star. We're just let's leave the town star stuff for later.
I don't want to go on that one just yet. So.
And to be completely clear, before we get to the town star stuff, there's a massive difference between a node vote, which generally speaking we would always for sure follow along with, okay? Because that's what's the whole point in building governance if you're not going to use the fucking governance, right? So while it is, and the reason that I say a sentiment check more than an actual vote is because those votes are not happening on chain and they're not smart contract driven.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we look at that and then that tells us what to do. That doesn't mean that we look at it and decide to go do other shit. So
the understanding that I kind of got while I was watching people weigh in their sentiment is that people didn't exactly see it as this is our sentiment kind of thing. They thought of it, well, what my 2 cents is, because I'm a node owner too, people started to think, well, wait a minute, I'm a node owner. I have a right to say this. I have an ownership in this plan, and I have quite a bit of say here. And there are people with a lot more sentiment to be able to be registered. There are people with hundreds of nodes. So
there were. For sure.
Their sentiment is going to be much more listened to in the case.
Well, I mean that's how a vote works in this case. I mean, if it was a DAO and you had a bunch of different, you had more votes in a DAO than somebody else would because you held more of the token or whatever, it'd be no different. I mean, these are just people who happen to hold more nodes than other people. That's so basic to the theory.
So I wanted to make that clear that this is a sentiment thing, but I think people were taking it a bit further and thinking that, look, you're I have I have a bigger say in this than it appears. And I think some people even think that when they own the node that they actually can control the direction of the company a little bit, which I don't think so, but I certainly heard.
That is that. So when you purchase a node license, this is no different than you purchasing a software license for anything else. Okay, your node allows you to connect to the network, or the license allows you to run a node that connects to the network and can help support the network. It is not ownership in the company. It is not an investment. It is not equity. It is not any of these things. Okay, it is a software license where occasionally we say, "Hey guys, what do you think about this? Do you want A or B? Okay, or C or whatever the question happens to be." So that's what this is, and I think that that's the thing that people maybe need to understand is that it's not, these are not voting shares or something silly like that. Not at all the model. So anyone who has that idea needs to disabuse themselves of that quickly because they will be very disappointed.
Okay. So that's good. So then I'll move on to the next.
Wait.
Okay.
If
Go ahead,
we
Titan.
could pause for just a moment. So, doing some poking around. Faz has been like ripping on me for the past year that we've been doing this show. About you got to understand. Okay. Well, no, it is because I'm over here like motherfucking Gala left and right throughout the whole thing, right? And he's like, "Listen, it's not the problem itself. It's the messaging of what they're trying to get across is being interpreted wrong." And after 9 months,
quite possible.
Yeah, so I mean, after about 9 months, I finally came around, and of course, Faz was dancing a jig over there. So a lot of the communication on this, I think where it went wrong is the way that the communication came out, because I read it too, and it was always where players, are able to guide the system, and players are able to guide the ecosystem. Yeah. So so people, I think, are taking that as people are, the node owners run the ecosystem. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's where a big part of the disconnect is. And I think some clearer communication, and that's what we wanted to talk about here, is getting that clear communication on where that demarcation line is between, hey, you guys don't run the show, but we're going to give you options to pick from. There's a big difference, and I think, yeah.
I was just going to say I have to mute myself for a second because there's a damn train going by. So one moment, keep talking.
No, yeah. So I think that's where a lot of it comes from, and I think the message in itself is clear. But the way people interpret it, I've been arguing lately a lot, it's all about that perception. And the perception is way different than what it actually is. And I'm hoping that we're able to clear up a lot of that today.
Yes, that is definitely something that I would like to do. And for starters, we do want to give gamers ownership of their gameplay. That's what this is about. That's why we do NFTs. You have an NFT, you have your thing. You have a node, and in a very mechanical way, your node is supporting the growth and expansion of the ecosystem, and this will be even more true once Geary comes, fully online and is running across the nodes as well. So in part, that perception is not incorrect. I think where the problem comes is that there are people who don't understand sort of where that line is for where it stops. Okay, so at the end of the day, okay, we still have a business that we have to run. Okay, which means that we have to do certain things that are required for business, or we have to not do other things that create potential regulatory issues.
Well,
okay. No.
So are you going to cut through the middle of that? Do you feel that you are beholden to any NFT owner or Gala owner or town owner? Just want to get that out. And I want to make sure that
beholden?
Beholden.
In what sense?
Well, that
like we owe them something?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I wanted to make that clear to the community that
absolutely not.
When you're buying an NFT or Gala or town, you're buying an item that's out on the market or being sold as a product from Gala Games. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. They're not your bitch. Okay, just because
they're
you bought
very much not.
Just because you bought a lot doesn't mean they're going to start pandering to you.
Yes.
I want to make that clear.
Yeah, the flip side of that is everybody in the community is, we want people in the community to be in the community because they want to be in the community. Okay, so it's not like we want people to, be upset or angry or things like that, and we want you to have a great experience. I mean, if we, for example, this is a great example, and it's maybe a little bit of a segue that we may pull back from, I don't know. But for example, the Town Star situation for a while has been pretty damn untenable, and we're not happy about it any more than the community is. And
can I narrow that down before we get into the solution? Because I want to make sure. So there's two stories going on right now about this Town Star.
Yeah.
One is you guys recognize a problem, and the other people see a price that's going in the shitter. Now, I know that you guys aren't focused on price, however everybody else is. And so the other story, the story I know that you have is, well, you've got to have liquidity, and you've got to make sure that your economy can work. The price might be reflective of that, but that's not something that you're trying to manage when you make any changes. I wanted to make that clear. That's correct, right?
Yes. So yes, that is correct. So we don't look at town, for example, and be like, oh, the price of town is whatever. What we look at is we say, if you are a player, okay, and you have town, you do not have a healthy economy for that right now. Okay, and this has nothing to do necessarily with the price of the token, and everything to do with attitudes surrounding it, and the ability for it to be used effectively, and all of these things. So there's a lot wrapped up kind of in it, and we're not stupid. We recognize that people look at the price of things, but that's not a thing that we see as being a major thing that we focus on. I mean, we are going to focus always on making an amazing game that people love to play.
Right.
And we believe that if we make an amazing game that people love to play, and there's a healthy economy surrounding that game, then it's good for everybody.
I like to use the term Star Wars action figures a lot when referring to NFTs because, Hasbro makes Star Wars action figures and they sell them for a certain price. And there is a market out there for Star Wars action figures, especially when they're limited run and they go up really high. But you never hear Hasbro talking about the price of Star Wars action figures any more than what they're selling it for. Yet, yet people are expecting, I just want to just say, people seem to expect with these NFTs that for some reason you are looking at the price.
There are people expect people expect silly shit of everybody. For example, I love Magic the Gathering. Okay, I don't play because I don't have time to play. But there is a cathartic piece to opening little foil packets of cards, right? Now, I know that in the case of Magic the Gathering, that there are people who do, buy things and they open the card packs and they're like, oh, this one's 25 cents and this one's 7 cents and, crap like that. Like, I'm aware that that's a thing that happens, but it's not the thing that I know Wizards of the Coast wants to happen. They completely don't care. They're making cool cards for their games.
They don't even legally recognize the third party or the secondary market. So
yeah. And so this is similar situation, so that's kind of the way with NFTs. Like, okay, you buy an NFT, great, you can use that NFT in a game. It does stuff in the game. What you do with that, other than that, is entirely up to you. That's it.
So,
Well,
oh, go ahead, Titan.
no, I was going to say, one of the things I talk about a lot is, this sounds terrible on the surface, but I truly believe it, is Gala has kind of done this to themselves, right? So the marketing and the marketing speak is all focused on the earn portion. So I've seen you guys step back from that quite a bit lately. And
we're working on that.
Yeah, and it's something that kind of manifested itself in that. And the same with the messaging about the node governance and all these messaging issues. The ambiguity around it makes it even worse because people interpret it, 100 different ways. And
they really do.
I mean, I would really love to just see. Do you remember? Because I remember way back a year and a half ago when you guys would hop into Discord and it would just be like this: a couple of guys having a conversation, and there was no formalities and everything else. And here's the key: the marketing speak was gone. I understand you guys got to sell stuff, right? Otherwise, you don't have a business.
So this is a specifically interesting.
That.
This is an interesting topic here, because it's something that Benefactor actually talks about a lot. A year and a half ago, there were 20 of us. Okay, so when something happened in Discord, it was me and Benefactor hopping in Discord with a couple of people talking about stuff that we think is cool. Okay, and for me, you guys have heard me talk about sort of my history in the space and the disaster relief work and things that I've done, and probably listen to my TEDx talk. For me, the reason I do this is to give people access to something they would not otherwise be able to access, and I'm very gratified to see when it has worked. So to a certain extent, yeah, there is a bit of a celebration of the earning side of things because it's radically transformed people's lives. That's not something that is in doubt. Now that said, things go sideways when two things happen. One, the team itself, which we have an amazing team, grows to the point where that message is a little bit harder to control, and a little bit harder to make casual. Do you know what I mean? Like back in the day, like, I don't know if you guys remember, like the version of the Gala website that had like Townstar at the top, as like just a big banner of things like that. Like that website, I made that website myself in a weekend. Okay, and any graphics that you saw at that point in time were like me and a couple other people slapping stuff together. For a while, I was doing things until our actual designers were like, "Jason, stop it. We're fine. We'll make you things now." And then anytime I needed something, I'd have to go to one of them, and so you end up with this like this transition from this is a project of passion to this is a business, and that transition, I think, personally in my mind leaves something to be desired. It is, however, inevitable. It's not possible to scale things the way that we have and maintain that same feeling. Now, what we've started doing is with the formation of the crypto and community engagement squad, which we call the Cake Squad. With the formation of the Cake Squad, we now have a team of people whose job is like literally just to be here and to connect and engage with the community as human frickin' beings. And so we're hoping to bring some of that back if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's definitely been been a shift.
Well, Titan, before you go further, I think we're getting a little bit far. We're starting to move away from the line of questioning that I had, which was about Gala caring about the money, because a lot of people feel that. Now, if
I'm getting there. It was just, as usual, me being long-winded.
What I wanted to get to was, when you buy something with Town in the store, in the Gala store, it's priced in dollars. And, you know, because Town goes up and down, your Town's going to be worth more one week and less the next week. And so regardless of how you plan it to be, that matters. And I would think that if you're going to use a currency like that and not worry about the price, that, you know, you just say, okay, well, this is 25 Town, and whatever the price it is fine. It would just make it more rare.
The problem with that is that it doesn't really work. Because what you end up with is things either being super, super cheap, okay, you know, 25 cents, okay, or whatever.
Then it's all sold out.
And then it sells out like mega instantly, and it's usually to like one person. Or super, super, super expensive. And it's suddenly, you know, I mean, if we look at Town, I think it topped out at like, what, 280 or something like that? Mm. You know, so now it suddenly is significantly more expensive, right?
Well, so that means that people start having to really be concerned about the price if they're going to buy anything. There's some things in Town I want to get right now, but it costs 38,000 Town, and oh my God, you know how long that takes to make? So in that sense, price is going to matter, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, there really isn't a way to. I mean, like we're cognizant of that as an issue, but if we're going to sell it in Town, it doesn't really work to do it in any other way. We've spent a lot of time looking at how to make that work, and the problem is you always inevitably go in one of two directions, and it just doesn't work. And so, yeah, I guess people will probably pay attention to the price of things.
So I guess
for us, we just set it at a peg of, you know, peg it to USD value.
So this would happen with
you sort it out.
So this would happen with any coin that you had. It would happen with Silk or with Dust. And I'm thinking of Townstar as a guinea pig. And so obviously you want to be able to use the token. So I guess maybe this is leading to why is there separate tokens for each game? I've explained it to Titan in the past as being economic levers for each game that you guys can use. But why? Can you tell me why you have a different coin for each game?
The reason for that is that in a fully fleshed out ecosystem, okay, as we build a fully decentralized ecosystem, which is the end goal here, so people should be able to bring their game, build it on Jiri, release their own NFTs, sell their NFTs, and have a functioning game, right? If we do not let each game have its own token, we end up with everything in the game being tied to a single token. And in the case of this essentially means that we either subsidize every single game and give them a massive pile of Gala for them to do play and earn with. Okay? Or they have to buy it off the market so that they can do it. The reality is that neither one of those is going to be something that really makes sense, nor is it going to be long-term sustainable. So what you end up doing is you end up giving each game the ability to create their own internal game economy.
So how do we get there from here? Because there's obviously, and I'm trying to point you back to the announcement that you guys made. There's got to be a way to equalize this, and maybe you could explain that. And I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
I mean, you mean the announcement regarding Town?
Correct. I'm assuming that dovetails into liquidity and usability.
I mean, yes, but no, not really. I mean, the problem is, and for starters, that was a very interesting discussion. Okay, not so much an announcement or a vote as just a, here, this is a thing we're thinking about. What do you guys think? Now, obviously, people it was worded in such a way that it's like literally here's a hypothetical, and we maybe might perhaps think about this, and people were like, oh my god, you're doing this thing, which we very well, to be completely fair, we very well may do. We're going to do whatever we need to do for the good of the game, which I think is a really, really important thing here. But for us, the way that we look at this is that the economy right now, due to the fact that you have a game, okay, that part of the reason that people play is the fact that they can earn something, okay, and we know that is the case. I know that is the case. But at the same time, you end up with a relatively small group of players because the game is not attractive enough for a larger audience. Okay. It's a very special type of game. Okay. Now, at the same time, when you have people who are just looking at it from a play and earn perspective, they get very, very vocal about this. And so what you end up with is a hyper-vocal minority of the community that starts kind of steering features in a way that they want. Okay, the developers naturally, want to talk to and want to listen to people. But what that ends up doing is you end up having this hyper-vocal group that ends up steering things. Okay, their only sole focus is on earning. Okay, and it becomes extremely toxic, which is something that I think that we saw in the chat for a while there. And it makes it so that other feature sets, okay, which are very much more game related, don't come to the fore, because every time somebody tries to do anything else, you just have a bunch of people screaming about earnings. Now, on top of that, the economy itself is massively unhealthy. The reason that it's massively unhealthy is because we have not gotten sinks in, okay? And it got to the point where we started looking at it and we realized that, even if we get sinks in, the way that this is working right now will not be sustainable. So, we need more sinks. We need a new way of thinking about it.
Can you go into what sustainability means in this case?
Sustainability in my mind means that you don't have an inflationary situation with the game.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that means you have, I'd say, all the pistons firing in time with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah. So tokens are created and tokens are burnt or taken off the table in roughly equal number. Right now, there's a graph that was posted in the Townstar announcement channel by a benefactor that shows the divergence of burn and sink.
So I guess,
and how bad that situation is, and people don't understand exactly what that graph means.
So I guess the thing is, and I've been explaining this to Titan as well, that you guys certainly need to put in to get that stuff moving, and you're not at the point. This game is still new; it's still in beta. I would actually argue that it's still in alpha with all the promised stuff for it. But I don't want to give away too much because it's not my space to do so. But when there's going to be an AMA towards the end of the month with Mark Skaggs that is going to blow your frickin' minds. I heard you guys. Does that mean we get to interview him? No,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure he'd be happy to come on and chat with you guys. He's a very, very nice guy, and he'd be very candid about this sort of stuff.
Well, I wanted to make it clear that, and I've been trying to make this clear to a lot of people, that Townstar is not only not done, but it's not started. And this whole part right now, where we have all this inflation, we have all this stuff going on, we're not ready yet. And I kind of feel like we're a beta or an alpha group, and I think that's the best way to look at the Townstar players right now, or are you guys thinking that Townstar is a whole lot more than that right now?
So Townstar is so much more than people are seeing it as right now. Okay, Townstar is our first game, yes. Okay. It is obviously, you guys see Last Expedition playtest, you see Spider Tanks. There's a ton going on right now. Okay, just a massive ton going on. But Townstar is always going to have a special place in our hearts. And one of the things that this means is that we have to be very careful in how we take care of it. It's very, very important that we get things in correctly. Can I feel like I am watching the chat here, the Faz Radio chat. And yeah, we're like 8 months into TownCoin right now. How do we not have syncs? Yeah, absolutely. It sucks. It's terrible, and that's to a large extent why we're doing this right now. We need to hard reset. And one of the reasons that we don't have syncs, and I'll just be super, super blunt, is because the way the game was designed at the very beginning. It's not that the economy is fucked up, it's that the game at its core has a few very serious issues. And one of the largest issues is that it is client authoritative. So this is why people can run scripts, because what happens on your computer is the thing that happens. Now, of course, Ledger of Truth is something that's being worked on that fixes some of this, but it's not enough, and that's the main issue, because you can't even have something like a spend of gems if on the client side you can just give yourself more gems, right? So things like that don't work, and it's not necessarily an economics issue as much as it is an engine issue. And that's something that needs to be addressed. So
I have kind of a tough question. I don't know if you'll be able to get too deep into it.
Ask it nicely.
No, it's not about asking nicely. It's just I'm not sure he's able to talk about it.
Try me.
All right. So you learned some lessons from this town economy mess.
So many,
right?
So many.
All right. So there's a lot of people that are talking and that are worried out there with Spider Tanks coming out, with Legends, with all these things coming out. What are you going to take into these next games that are released that's going to be different than Townstar?
Have you read the Spider Tanks Lite Paper?
Is that out?
There's a light paper.
I dropped it in chat about an hour and a half ago.
So he just punked us.
No.
He just punked us.
Yeah,
we
right?
didn't have time to read that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you are go read that paper. You are thoroughly punked. Okay. You will see the crazy insane level of detail built-in burns at launch. Okay, when you purchase something in Silk in the store, that Silk is then burnt. Okay, which is something that with Town we can't do because it's a manual process. And if we go burning a bunch of Town, people are going to say, oh, you're doing that to increase token price, which is obviously something that we can't do. Things that have you guys get that part, right?
Absolutely.
So what we've done is we've built this in algorithmically. Okay, with Spider Tanks, we have an insanely detailed economic model and projections. We have a pretty substantial, heavy-hitting economics team that has put this together, and it is orders like Spider or not Spider Tanks. Townstar was like, hey, here's an NFT, have some Town. That is not what this is. There's orders of it's incredibly more complex and badass. And I think anyone who takes a look at that will see that.
Okay, so there's a lot in the light paper that I'm going to just point people to the light paper. I don't want to get too much into that stuff.
And we're not talking like people are not people are not going to be commenting too much on the light paper over the weekend because there's a big AMA planned. So read it and get your questions ready. And yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to hit on a couple more things because I'm assuming that you don't have forever here, and I don't want to keep you too late because it's 5:44 p.m. and I think you're in the same time zone as me.
And I got some time.
Okay, so the other things that I wanted to get to, and I guess you can choose when you want to go into it. I'll just give you the headings there. The critiques and suggestions on the node voting, and I really wanted to get this one in there. I feel like this whole governance ecosystem is yet to have an organizing factor, and I'm talking about the votes. Now, you did say that, well, we're not that far. We're just getting, just tell us how you feel about these things. I feel that definitely to move this governance ecosystem along, that there's got to be some community leaders involved in this.
Yes. Totally agree.
What I think we seem to have right now with the proto governance ecosystem is it's like being in an open bazaar where things are chaotic. There's people screaming from every area, and then
absolutely,
you and Benefactor will jump in and let me use a term that will make sense to all the viewers. Sometimes it seems like you guys come on the Discord and just lay a big turd and then let everybody comment on that to kind of get it out there.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this amazing turd that has just been
And here I said for Titan to be nice. I'm trying to say it in a
no,
way
but
to get it across.
You're not wrong, man. Like that's the thing. That. So you want to know how the Spider Tanks or the Townstar idea came up?
Yeah, definitely. I want to know why these things came up so people can understand why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay, now to be fair, I will say this rather bluntly, a lot of people, including people who the economists working on Townstar, the team leads, all of these things have for a long time wanted to pull this trigger. Okay, and they have primarily been stopped by my concern for pissing off the community too much.
Well, the community all likes to say, well, dumbass, we knew about this 6 months ago. How come you didn't?
Oh, of course. Well, no, but the thing is what the community doesn't understand is how much of this there's some pretty vile shit that happens anytime people get upset. Okay. And so my hope is that we would be able to iterate with everything live, okay, and update as we were going forward in a way that would gradually pull that curve down, okay. But people get absolutely vile with some of these things. It's there's a reason that a lot of times when I'm at large events, I have security. Okay, and that is because I get death threats over things like town.
It is worth mentioning that, guys, if they were to put out something that was broken or not yet complete or something a bit faster than people can deal with, that's going to make it even worse. And
yes, exactly.
I see Gala Games acting, to be honest, very gingerly. And I don't think about that much about Eric's personality, that he acts gingerly, but I see that Townstar is moving forward gingerly.
He is not a ginger person by any stretch of the imagination. But what ended up happening is it was literally me, Eric, Mark Skaggs, and James, irrelevant, sitting around a table and talking about this. And Mark is a game development legend. He has multiple awards for his game design, and this includes things like the original Farmville, Command and Conquer Generals, Command and Conquer Red Alert 2. Like the dude has massive cred. Okay, and he's also extremely, and this is one of the things I freaking love about the guy. he's like, okay, this is the problem. We have to do this thing. And so he was like, okay, we just need to stop issuing it for now. And that's what we'll do. We should stop it. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And then Eric's like, let's ask the community what they think. And this literally took place in like 5 minutes. And then Eric went and dropped that chart and started talking. Okay. So perhaps the problem is that I was the one who was reluctant to make this change a long time ago. But at the same on the same token, we did not have Mark on board at that time, and I think that it is going to be Mark that is what is needed to push this really absolutely through to where it needs to be.
Well, I think it would help out a lot, because that makes sense, that realization. But I think it would help out a lot if people were to understand a little bit more. And I was trying to give you an out by saying, Townstar is probably not as far along as people might think. People see what appears to be a very simple, finished application that apparently some features are going to be added. Now, me being a programmer, I can tell you that this doesn't look finished at all. It's just stable.
Yes, it's exactly that. Exactly that. It does not have.
I bet the code, certain bits of the code, are just fucked, and you guys have to work around it until you can get certain things live. Then you could take it off.
Of course.
And
it doesn't have a good FTUI. It's not in an engine that works.
But people aren't seeing this. People aren't seeing this, and that's the problem.
Correct. And Gigi, I totally agree with you. If this was done in conjunction with Mark's AMA and what he plans for it, absolutely agree. No argument for me. However, that's not always the way that things happen. So, yeah.
Was that somebody trying to jump in? I heard somebody saying something. Was that Titan?
Yeah. Well, So it's all boiling back to perception.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
and the messaging and all of that, and Faz beat my head into this, and I kind of turned the corner, and I had a couple people in CFA saying, "Oh, now you're a turncoat. You're always, pushing hard on Gala to say the right things and do the right things, and now you're defending them." And I'm like, well, I'll defend them when I think they're doing the right thing, and I'll turn around and I'll tell them they're doing the wrong thing when they're doing the wrong thing. But hearing these backstories, like that story you just told, I think is huge for the community, and I really hope they hear that, because that makes a difference. Their perception is now being changed by hearing what actually took place. What their perception of that is, oh fuck, here comes Eric again, motherfucking everybody, and we've put our heart, our soul, and our money into this, and now they're telling us, get the fuck out.
Can I say something on that really quick?
Sure.
Okay, so this guy's, I really, 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 really want people to understand this. Okay? We wouldn't be doing this shit if we didn't care about the game. Okay, if we did not care about you and the fact that you have NFTs.
Well, I want you to care about my profits. Why can't you care about my profits? I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know you're kidding. And you know that regardless of what I may or may not feel, there are certain things I can't say. Okay? We care about the community. We care about the game, which is why we open this for a topic of discussion. And that's why when Mark was like, hey, this is the thing that we need to do, and I'm like, I don't think people will like it. And Eric's like, well, let's go find out. And it was literally that simple. And what it was is I was sitting on a very uncomfortable bar stool, and I'm like, oh crap. And then I took my phone and went over to the couch so I could lay down and sit there on my phone typing in Discord. Okay? Because I knew I had to brace myself for what was getting ready to happen. We do care a tremendous amount about all of this, which is why we do it. Okay? And I think that in time, people will understand that conversation was extremely important, and B, the direction that the game is going in is in an amazing place, and I think that you will be very, very pleased in the long term with where it goes.
I personally think the ecosystem is going to get rejuvenated by what you're doing. It's important to remind people that every time they touch anything, every time they create a new NFT, every time they change something in the Townstar game, that affects the ecosystem. It unbalances things, and then things have to get rebalanced. And what they're talking about doing is putting in an incredible new amount of stuff that's going to unbalance the crap out of things. While this is in beta, shit's going to get unbalanced.
Yes. Mark is talking about a release cadence of a new feature every couple weeks.
Well, that's going to piss me off if I have a certain way of making money.
Well, but this is part of the the concept of play, right? Like, it's a game. You have to, get into the game. There's these new features are new content, new mechanisms, all sorts of stuff that will take this from being a game that is, has been static.
Well, the point that I like to make, sorry about that. The point that I like to make about somebody like me making money on the game is when you go to a car dealer and you buy a car, you don't ask the car dealer how much money this truck or car is gonna make you. You don't ask them to how can they help you make more money. They're not gonna say that, people, and that's not even their job. And yet people are on the Discord saying things like, "What the fuck? I was making $1,000 a week, and now because of you, I'm not." And it's like, and the answer, I'm sorry, but it's, you can do whatever you want with these NFTs. If you can make money off them, bully for you. But if you can't, that's not Gala's fault. Just like it's not Chevrolet or Ford's fault that you can't make money on their truck. Pick another truck. Go get a Nissan or a Toyota or something if you can make more money with the truck. None of them are going to tell you how to make more money with their truck. I just
okay, now wait. Let's be fair, though. Ford and Chevy are not marketing their trucks at the beginning before you buy it by saying you're going to be able to earn on this truck. So again, it goes back to that marketing and that messaging.
They call the trucks a work truck. They show people loading the thing with grain and with hay, and look, I can pull stumps out and stuff like that.
But again, there's a big difference between that and marketing that play to earn. So I think that turning this corner, like we talked about probably 45 minutes ago, and marketing this, getting rid of, dropping the word earn and everything else, you can. And I threw, OMS is fantastic. I threw some advice to him, and we were talking about his document that he put in. And one of the things is changing the verbiage on that marketing. By running the campaign, something along the lines of, this is a place where you can have some fun and play some epic games. You can earn while you're here, but let's play some games.
I mean, that's what we're focusing on doing. I mean, there's also a large difference between what we say and what the rest of the community says.
But that came from all that toxic marketing at the beginning, and it was focused on the earn, and we all know that. And it was to suck players in, and we get that. But that's why the community is like that.
Can you send me some of that? Because we've always been very careful about talking about gaming first. I mean, like, I'm not saying that we've never said, play and earn, or that you can earn, a certain amount in town or whatever. But I mean, I don't think at any point in time, in any place that we've ever sold anything, we've made any sort of promises about what you can earn.
And no, but the platform being marketed as earning.
Well, there's nothing wrong with them saying that you can earn earn town and earn NFTs with it. There's nothing wrong with that. The OMS says it good right here. He says the disconnect is that people expected to get a positive ROI, and that's not what was advertised. They simply said earn. And
right,
okay,
and that's got to go away.
It doesn't need to go. It doesn't need to go away. You can.
No,
but where you're going to get your. That's where you're going to get your people screaming about the ROI that is not.
No,
like that. The thing is we either take it away completely as a concept, and games are no longer play to earn at all. Okay, I don't know if I've ever told you guys what I think about the concept of play to earn. So for me, the way that I look at it is this. Okay. You guys drink coffee at like Starbucks?
I don't know. I drink coffee at home.
I did it one time.
You drink coffee at home. Okay. How about a beer? You like to have a beer, Titan?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. What do you spend on a pint?
He's probably drinking right now.
Fucking lucky bastard.
Maybe.
Lucky bastard. Okay. So how much you pay for a pint?
It's like 2 1/4.
2 1/4. Okay. You need to drink better beer, my friend. So wait, actually, where are you even located? Like $2?
Northeast Ohio. So yeah, we've got local breweries everywhere over here. It's fantastic beer at reasonable prices.
Okay, great. Then I'm gonna come visit. We're gonna hang out. And so here's the thing. Like you're spending let's call it $2. Okay, just for the sake of discussion. Now, for you, a game that is a play to earn game that allows you to earn a couple bucks a day. Okay, maybe it buys you a beer. Okay, but is that enough for you to play a game? No. You should play a game because it's fun. Right? So, for you to get $2 a day, that's not enough for you to pay the frickin', fees to claim the $2 a day, right? So maybe you play the game, you let it collect up for a week, you buy yourself a 6-pack. Okay? But, good lord, my child sounds like a pterodactyl. But for you, that $2 a day isn't going to make a big difference, right? Okay, so what I want is for you to play a game because you're having fun, and if you earn something, that's cool. But it's not about paying your mortgage with an NFT. It's about you having fun playing a game, and if you get something, that's cool. Okay, and at the same time, the energy and the play that you put into the ecosystem, okay, and the NFTs that you purchase to give yourself utility, to get further utility in the game and all of that enables someone at the far opposite end of the spectrum from you, okay, to pull out a couple bucks that can feed their family for a couple days. Okay, so while a game is play to earn or play and earn, okay, it isn't necessarily about here's a game where everyone makes shit tons of money, because that's not how economies work. Okay, this is the one area, okay, where we can take something. When you have a game, okay, when you look at a game, typically speaking, in any game that you play, you have 3 different inputs and outputs. Okay, you have money, you have time, and you have fun. Now, with a typical game, you put in time and money in the purchase of the game, and you get out fun. Okay? In this model, that still basically works. It's just that somewhere, somebody is able to put in a bit more time and take out a little bit of money. Okay? And hopefully still get the fun too. So when you look at it as a balance between like triangles of these 3 things with different player groups that sort of overlap, okay, that's where you begin being able to facilitate a transfer of tiny, tiny bits of money from the people who put money into an ecosystem to the people who really need it to survive. And that's what this is about for me.
I agree with you 100%, and I'm kind of the I'm kind of the outcast here, right? So I've never been a gamer. My kids, I play like COD with my kids, and they laugh because they kill me in 10 seconds, right? So I'm trying to learn how to game, and I'm trying to get into this, like with Mirandus and everything else, and it excites me and it's fun and all that. And if I can earn a couple bucks, great. I'm not looking to make like an income to where I can quit off of that. Would I like to at least get back what I put into it? Because quite frankly, those NFTs, I've spent a lot of money on those NFTs. Would I like to at least get that back? Sure. Of course. I mean, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to profess naivety here and say, I'm okay with spending some money on games to learn them and to try and have some fun. But this isn't like a serious thing for me. A lot of the people, I think, that were attracted to this, and Triple L says it, and I know I've talked about this before. The whole, not just Gala Games, but the whole play to earn marketing machine, with Axie and everything else, brings out this stuff, and there's articles all over the place. Oh, I'm making $10,000 a week with
that's
this.
crypto's biggest problem.
Right,
and that's across the board. Our
leading into this. So when Gala says, this is why, to kind of give the why behind the why, when I circle back and when I say, when they hear the words earn come out of Gala's mouth, they automatically associate it with $10,000 a week, because that's what they're seeing all over the place. And then they come in and they're like, you crashed down to 1 cent, and now I'm broke, and you're an asshole.
Wait a minute, Titan. Do you want a warning label on this game like cigarettes have on? I mean, do you need to tell people how they need to manage their money?
No,
and to do things?
I'm trying. No, I'm trying to help here, because you have helped me turn the corner on this from being a skeptic to understanding, and Jason, you're the same. Talking to you on these things and listening to you on AMAs. When you break it down like this, and you can understand the why behind the why, I get it. And I told you that in Discord the other day. I get it. But getting that message across to others isn't as simple as that. They're focused on those bigger things. And I hope that we can together all bring people to this commonality to where we all understand it.
Yeah, no, I would love that. And I see, Gala Cow, and they're complaining about super expensive NFTs and things like that. We are cognizant of these issues and the fact that this exists out there. At the same time, it's very difficult to do this in such a way that people don't see the concept of play and earn and decide that that's the thing. The second thing is that a lot of times people purchase, NFTs for various things, for ecosystems that are not fully there yet. Okay. Like Spider Tanks, moving forward, people buy tanks. There's a leasing system for tanks and all of these different components that are going to be part of it. But it's not there yet. And the idea is that, let's say you buy an expensive NFT, okay? And it is something that can be leased, okay? If that can be leased tens of thousands of times, okay, is there a potential that, maybe that's a thing that if the game is popular and if people love playing it, that works out nicely for you? Maybe there is, but at the same time, like, we're not sitting here going like, oh, shit, well, how are we going to make them, have a return? Because that's not something we care about at all.
Well, that's where I want to jump in here, because so I started CryptoFaz Academy because I started talking about ROI on the Gala Discord, and I think Bitbender or somebody else immediately got with me, is like, look, dude, and it kind of explained it to me. Now, what I want to get across to the community members out there is ROI is your business. Speaking as, the CryptoFaz Academy here, ROI is your business. If you can find anything to do in life, if you could be a career chess player and make a lot of fucking money with it, go do it. It's not the chess company's fault if you fail. It's if you want to be a race car driver, it's not Ford that's responsible for your car. It's you. If you want to be a Magic the Gathering ace and make a lot of money, it's not on Wizards of the Coast. And so if you find a nice way with Gala Games to make money with their NFTs, that's awesome. And right now, early on, it's very easy to do that. That should be a discussion that happens on CryptoFaz Academy, because you'll actually get answers to those questions. Like, what's the best way that we can milk the system to get money out of? Gala is not worrying about that.
I'm not having that conversation with you. That's not a thing that...
You're doing the game. And so
that's what we do, man. That's it.
And so that I feel that there's so many people that come in here, and this is where I think regulation is going to hit hard. Regulation is going to come in, and they're going to say, wow, you have a lot of idiots coming into your website thinking that they can be millionaires because they're seeing all these YouTube videos. And I think at a certain point that you're going to have a disclaimer or something, or they're going to make you say, look, if you want to make money with this, that's up to you, but that's not our business. And
I believe we do have a disclaimer that says that.
I know. You guys...
It's in there.
I know. You guys... Well, you guys do that, and that's the problem. But it keeps coming up because there's new people coming into the system. 3 months from now, the same people are going to keep coming to the Discord going, how am I going to make money?
Whole new crop. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is what people don't understand, and I always hate to have to do this because I recognize that to a certain extent it is done in innocence, okay, and naivete, where people will show up in the Discord, they'll ask these questions and we'll be like, hey, you can't talk about that here, and they're like, what, why not, I want to talk about it, and then we're like, can you please not talk about it pretty please, like, can you not, no, you can't stop me, and then we end up having to unlimber the yeet cannon to send them into, outer darkness. And I always, I always hate that because it like, I wish that I could sit down with like a piece of paper and some crayons and explain this shit in a way that is very, very blunt, but I can't.
Okay, so I have a solution.
Well,
I have a solution here, and this is part of what I've been trying to drive to for this whole thing, is I really believe that the community needs to step up here. This is not a Gala thing. This is everybody who's listening to this right now. This is your thing that you need to do. We're the community, and we need to get together and decide how we want to do these things, and including working with the node votes. If we want to know more about the node votes, we need to demand it of them. Not I think we need to get together as a community, and I'm hoping that Gala can actually, work with community members.
So here's sorry, go ahead.
Like Magic the Gathering will deal with their community members. I'd like to see community leaders step up and say, well, like OMS came up with a plan. Let's get behind OMS's plan. And
I freaking love
what I want to see is, when I first heard of this voting, I thought, okay, I can have a plan, OMS can have a plan, Titan can have a plan, and Gala's gonna let us entertain all of them because we got so many votes to say, okay, their plans are what we want, and then we vote on these plans. I
got another one for you that is something, and I'll talk a little bit about this, and then I will go for the day because I think that I'm supposed to be helping send the little one to bed here in just a minute.
And I appreciate you taking this pummeling, by the way.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so we've been thinking about this. We have this concept of the bonus pool, right? That has gone through. The vote has passed. Now, what this means is that what we have promised is that we will work with the community to figure out what the hell a bonus pool is. Okay, the halving will still take place, and with the halving taking place, the distribution will stay at 50-50 until we have a bonus pool that it is significantly well thought out, and can go to the nodes with a vote. Okay? Now, what we want to do, and the way that I'm thinking about this right now, is looking at it from the perspective of, okay, how do we bring everyone together? okay, for this? How do we even have a conversation? Because the worst place to have this conversation is, quite unfortunately, Discord, because it's a freaking nightmare. It's, high velocity fire hose of like vitriol and disagreement straight to the face, right? So what I'm thinking is this, and I'd love to get your guys' feedback on this. How do you feel about setting up a subreddit that is specifically focused on the bonus pool creation and discussion, with the ability for people to put out, like, this is my idea for this one thing, okay? And you can submit as many one things as you want, but this one thing that I feel should, get a point or whatever, right? At that point, people would then be able to vote things up, vote things down, and have communication specifically under that one point. How do you feel about that?
I like the idea, but the part that worries me the most is how Gala interfaces with it. I don't feel that this is something that Gala needs to kind of run themselves.
I don't want us to run it. I mean,
their plan. Right.
We will have moderators, okay, that keep things from going completely off the rails, and to let us watch and sort of.
What if the community did? What if the community did? And the whole purpose of the moderators. See, I see Gala Games as being.
I'm down for that.
Gala Games is a great steward, but remember, a steward isn't in charge of anything. A steward is somebody who finds the leaders and finds the people, and I could see you guys starting this off and getting it going, and then if somebody like Old Man Smithers wants to step up and moderate,
I would love that. Absolutely would love that.
We've got to get this community involved in doing this stuff, or honestly, we're just following whatever you say. But I love that idea.
So let's do it then. I'll get it stood up, and we can get some people in there and go from there.
Titan, do you have anything to say? I actually typed in the chat. I wanted to respond first, so I want to get Titan's 2 cents.
Well, I appreciate it. The biggest thing I think that was recognized but is now being overlooked again is your willingness to talk to the community about this. For so long, Bitbender, you guys, the perception was that you were dictating everything to the community. And you're, with this node vote, reaching out, having these discussions, being able, I was watching these node owner rooms because I'm a node owner myself, and watching, I was waiting for like the ban hammer to come down on some of these people for what they were saying, and you guys, you didn't. You listened, you gritted your teeth, and you engaged. And I think there is a huge part of the community that wants that interaction. They just feel like they're not being heard. So taking all that in and working with the community instead of dictating will go a huge long way towards getting that engagement and the positivity back to the community.
Well, we will continue to engage. We're always here to listen. People can always DM. They can send me messages on Twitter. They can, reach out to us or to any of the mods. Or, we're all basically willing to talk to you guys. So yeah, I'd reach out.
So I'd like to be involved in this in a way that I'd really like to help out with this measure. I'd really like to be involved with getting this Reddit put together and these plans. And I think it's going to take a while. I think it's going to take a while to get together what we want to do right and what the community, how the community feels like they should be in. But I think it's a good opportunity to get the kind of communication that we've been dying for. And honestly, after a while, you'll be able to push certain things to that Reddit. You'll be like, dude, go over there. We won't talk about that subject. We've got to do work or something. You know what I mean? Or we can talk around it on Discord, but Discord is all very inefficient.
Discord's very inefficient. Here. Let me just. I'll drop this in your chat.
Discord is one-on-one customer service for everything, and I'm sorry.
It's a little bit of a disaster. Hold on, why isn't this not working? Oh wait, maybe I can't post pictures. I think I can't post pictures in the Faz Radio chat.
Just put it in the Gala Stuff channel if you can click over there.
Where did it go? I saw that one.
Down under Faz Track projects.
Gala Stuff. There you go. You know, this is the thing that I've just put in there. Or I did this earlier today. I was, working on this before this this call.
You knew what you knew what we were going to talk about, didn't you?
Well, I've been thinking about this for a few days. Like, how do we bring this together in a way that everybody there's we want a way for the community to engage and have this discussion, and we also don't want to. We also, at the same time, don't want to be the ones that, I don't want to guide it. Okay, the whole point is for the community to come up with the things that they would like to see implemented, and us to be able to say, hey, look, this is what we can and we can't do. I'm sure people are going to suggest all sorts of crap that we cannot implement for either legal or technical reasons.
Yeah, but I don't think that you need to respond to every single one of them. I'm sorry. But...
No. But what I would like is for the community to come and say, look, these are the 15 things that after a month of us going back and forth on, we think are important. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then us to say, okay, yes to 1, 2, 3, no to 4 because of this, no to 5 because of this, yes, 6, 7, 8. And then we put that together as a vote and say, do you agree with these 8 things that came through? Are you okay with this being the bonus pool? After we've cleared it with the engineers and after, all of that. And then everyone can vote on it. And then it's come from the community. You guys came up with it. We said what is possible, and then everyone votes. That's what I would like to see.
Okay, I
think that's a fantastic way to do it. And again, I don't want to sound like I have my nose places and there's things on my nose, but Bitbender, this is what the community has wanted for so long. And what you're doing and how hard you're working and traveling everywhere and
putting
involving the community. Yeah, I mean, this is huge, and I hope that the community can see how hard you're working to really get the community involved.
Yeah, we are. And I'm sitting here reading the chat, and Mr. K, come on, man. Like, seriously? Like, yes, we sold NFTs. We sold NFTs because people wanted NFTs. This is how that works. You want to, like, there's not much Bitbender can say about it. Yeah, there is. There's lots of things that I can say about it. And don't give me the story about third world countries feeding families, LOL. Don't be a jackass, man. Do you have any idea how much money and time we put into helping develop things around the world that help people?
Well,
like, do you no idea?
That is actually helpful to know about. We don't see a lot of that advertisement, but
it's because we don't talk about it, man. We're not like here trying to wave a flag. Look at us! Look at how good we are. Okay, we're just trying to help people. There are people who have houses, okay, because they have played games. That is great. That is something that I would like to do. We sponsor all sorts of other efforts. We have sent truckloads of aid with community members into places like Ukraine. We sent in a frickin' team to extract one of our employees that was stuck in Kyiv. Like, we have multiple regenerative agriculture sites around the world that are focusing on carbon sinks and things like that. Like, this isn't just video games. This isn't just film. This isn't just music. This is freaking everything. We are attacking institutional
it's your master plan
directly. There's a lot going on here. And, Mr. K likes to complain about the prices of NFTs, but, like, there's a lot going on here, guys. And it's not just...
Gala can't care about that.
Well, let's hear some more about that, and potentially I know you guys have enough on your plate. Is there a way that people in the community can become involved with that and help those causes that you're doing?
Sure.
This is the first I'm hearing about this. I mean, I would love to be involved in that, but I didn't know it existed. So maybe your CHIPS team, is that what it's called? The community involvement team?
Cake. Crypto and community involvement.
Cake. Yeah, maybe the cake team can promote that. Yeah, maybe they can promote that a little bit more so that people can step into those roles.
That's absolutely one of the things that we're focusing on is bringing a lot of this to the community, because we've talked about stuff with like One Tree Planted and things like that we've done in the past. We've planted something like 350,000 trees or some crazy number like that. I don't remember exactly, but it's a lot. And it's
no, don't keep reading that stuff.
Sorry. Okay. Anyway, there's a lot going on.
So I think we've covered a lot of territory here. We got a lot of understanding, and I needed to make sure that people realize that there is a difference between buying an NFT and having any sort of guaranteed return on an NFT. It's the same thing as buying magic cards or something like that. If you can make money with it, fine. But it's not their responsibility. It's not up to them to price it. And I mean, I'm sorry if they're doing what they can to make their business work. So, I mean, you want Gala Games to be beholden to some of their standards. The community needs to step up too and realize where their responsibility lies. I'm trying to be hard on everybody. Maybe that means nobody will like me. Fine, but let's be fair about this. It's not their job to make you money, and I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Exactly.
But that would be the case with any other crypto you buy, with any other NFT you buy. It's not their job either. So there's no guarantees in life. And on that note, I want to finish this up, and I can actually start our little outro music, I think.
Music. Yeah, I can sing us out. I can do it.
Anyway, I very much appreciate you coming on and taking all the hard questions. These are a lot of hard questions, and
happy to be here, man.
I think that people in the community need to step up as much as you're trying to step up right now. And I'm not saying that you're a saint. You're just normal. You're just a regular person trying to do their job, and I think people need to at least understand that much. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
Hopefully we could talk again about some other things. I'd really like to get into some cooler stuff.
Awesome. Well, let's do it next time.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bitbender.
Thank you, Bitbender.
Peace out.